Welcome to the Edupedia world. The agenda for this tutorial is to learn decision-making statements in Java. So this topic will include introduction to control flow statements, if statement. Within if statement we learn about simple if statement, if-else statement, nesting if-else statement, else-if ladder. Then there will be switch statement and ternary operator. Basically, in this tutorial, we'll try to cover till if statement and then we'll see the switch statement in next video. So let's begin. Introduction to control flow statements. Statements inside your source file are generally executed from top to bottom in the order they appear. So basically, control flow statements are Java statements which control the flow of your execution. So your execution could be sequential. We do have control flow statements which can break up the flow of execution. How? Through decision-making statements, looping statements, branching, or conditionally execute some part of your code. So we'll see how control flow statement does that later on. For now, just understand that all these statements are called control flow statements because they are for breaking up the flow of execution and determining the new flow. So basically, it controls your flow of execution. Okay, now we have three types of control flow statement. First one is decision-making statement, which include if then else and switch case statements. Then we have looping statements, which include for, while, and do while loop. Then we have branching statements that include break, continue, and return. We'll be covering each type, but in this tutorial, we'll be concentrating on decision-making statements and that too the if statements. So we'll be covering up if, ladder if, nested if else. So we'll be covering up the if part. Okay, so let's begin. Okay, so this is the syntax of if statement where we have if keyword. Then we write up the expression. So the expression need to give a boolean result. I mean, you need to check if something is equal to something, greater than, less than, not equals to. So it should give some boolean result. So if the result that given is true, then the statement as that is within the if block is executed. Okay, so let's see an example. In example, you can see we are checking if I is greater than equals to 0 and I is less than equals to 10. So this is a condition. Over here, since we are using the AND operator, so this will make sure like both the conditions should be true. If both of them are true, then and then only the if block will get executed. So I hope it's clear, like when the statement will get executed, when will you get the output as I is an integer between 0 to 10 is only when I is greater than 0 and I is less than 10. So if I falls between a range of 0 to 10, which includes 0 and 10 also, then only it will get execute. Okay, now let's cover if-else statement. So if-else statement includes if, then it includes your boolean expression. Your boolean expression can be anything which returns you true or false. And then the statement for true case. So if the condition is true, the first boolean expression that you are giving, if it is true, then this statement for true case will get executed. Otherwise, it will go into the else case and statement for the false case will get executed. So I hope you can understand that in which cases else will execute. Else will only execute if if the condition in if is false. So either it has to be true or it has to be false. If it is false, then this statement will get executed. I hope that's clear. Okay, so this is an example of if-else statement. So in this example, we are checking if radius is greater than equals to 0, then we are calculating the area and printing out that area. In else case, if it is not so, if the condition is false, then we are printing negative input, because if the radius is even less than 0, then it will be a negative input. So that's what happening over here. In if condition, if radius is greater than 0, then we are calculating the area and printing it. Otherwise, we are simply printing negative input. So I hope that makes sense. Okay, now let's study about nested if. Basically, nested if means a if statement within another if statement. So if there is a, if within that if and then again a if, then it becomes a nested if. So this is a simple nested if example. Let's see what's happening over here. We are having a if statement and we are checking if radius is greater than 0 or equals to 0. Okay. So this condition is checked in the first if statement. After that, we are calculating the area. Area is equal to radius into pi. Okay. So once the area is calculated, then we can see there is another if statement. So this if statement is within the outer if statement. So only and only if radius is greater than 0, then only the area will be calculated, because this block includes this condition. So this block will only get execute if this condition is true. If this condition is true, this block starts executing. It's gonna take the area, and if the area calculated over here is greater than 50, which is again a if condition. If it is greater than 50, then only it is going to print the area of circle. If it is less than 50, then it is not printing the area of circle. So you can see if that area is greater than 50, then again we have curly braces for this if clause, and in this clause we are printing the area. So I hope the nested if concept is clear. Moving forward to else if later. So in else if later, so it happens like there could be multiple conditions. For example, I need to select a color, and depending upon a color, I need to select a fruit. So let's say if the color is green, then my fruit will be grapes. If my color is yellow, my fruit will be banana. If my color is orange, then my fruit will also be orange. So in this case, I can use else if later. So I can place a condition if color is equal to green, then the statement that I will include will be fruit is equal to grapes. Now my next condition will be included in the else if block as shown in the this example. So you can see the else if block will contain condition 2. So my condition 2 will be if fruit, or sorry, color is equal to yellow, then inside that clause, as clause, I write the statement which is fruit is equal to banana, and so and so. So else if is actually used to execute multiple conditions. So you can have as many else if as you need. So I can write 10 else if or 5 or just 1. And after I have written the else if block, you can also mention a else block. In else block, you write some statement which you want to execute as a default case. Let's say my color is not any of green, yellow, or orange. Then if the color is any out of these three, then I want the else block to be executed. In else block, I can write anything like, wrong input, or the input is not what expected, something like that. So that you can write in the else block. So that will become my default case if any of these condition is not true. So just note that only one of the condition will become true. So either if the if condition is true, then it won't go into any other clause. It won't check the else if condition or to else. It will simply come out of the if else block. If first condition is not true, then it will check the second condition. Again, if second condition is not true, that is in the else if block, it gonna check the third condition of third else if block. Again, if that is true, then it will execute that case and will skip all other cases and simply comes out. Or if the any of the else if condition is not true and if condition is also not true, then it will simply go into the else clause. So I hope you could understand that how else if letter works. Now we are just going to try an example to see all the four cases of if we have studied so far and see how they gonna work. So let's open your Eclipse IDE. Okay guys, so this is like my class. The class that I have created in my Eclipse IDE is if statement example, and I have created public static void main method inside it. So now in this method, I'm going to write some if statement example. I hope so it's quite clear that how you can create class. Just to give you a recap, just go to file in your Eclipse, go to new, and just need to create a Java project. So okay, I'm going to just show you quickly like how I'll be doing it. New, then Java project. If you are not able to see the Java project, just you can go to other. If you are not able to see the Java project as an option, and then you need to type Java project. As soon as you type that, you can see there will be Java project option. Just click on next. Just give your project name, whatever you want to give, XYZ. Just give a logical name, like Java. I have given like Java Fund Core Platform. So that is what I've given. Do next and finish. So after that, once you have done, you can see that there will be a Java project created as is done in my case. Inside a project, you can create your source folder as I have created the source folder as basic. So just right click on this, go to new, and over here you can see a folder option. If we are not able to see, it's fine, just go to other type folder and then you can see. So instead of folder, you can also select a source folder. Over here I have selected the source folder option, which is this one. So once that is created, you need to create a package, and package can also be created by right clicking on the source folder, go to new, and then go to package, and then you can give the name of package according to the Java naming convention. And once your package is created, just go to the package, go to new, and just create your class. So this is how I've created this class, and I've created a public static void main method. Now I'm going to write a program to show you an example of if statement. Okay guys, so I'm taking int a is equal to 5 and int b is equal to 6. Fine, and now I'm writing if a is greater than 5, then I'm looking out to print value of a is more than 5. I hope that's fine. Yeah, and so this is a simple if case. So this statement will only get printed if my the value of a is greater than 5. If it's not, then nothing will happen because I haven't written a else case so far. So let's execute this thing and let's see the output. So well, there won't be any output because nothing is getting printed. Now let me just increase the value of a to 9, and now let's run the example again, and you can see it's getting printed. So it's quite simple. Since the if statement is asserting the true, that is if a greater than 5 is asserting the true, that's why the statement is getting printed. Now let me just write an else clause in which I will just simply mention value of a is less than 5. So now this statement, if the value of a is less than 5, then it will print out this statement. Now let me change the value of a to 0, And let's try to run the example, and it's saying the value of a is less than 5. So that is because it checked for the first condition if a is greater than 5, which becomes false. Then it will check for another case, which is else. So it will simply go into else and print out the statement. Now let me mention another condition over here. My next condition would be, I'm using a or operator and I'm checking if b is also greater than 5. Okay, so it's gonna check if a is greater than 5 or b is greater than 5. So in any case it will print the value of a and b is more than 5, and over here gonna print the value of a and b is less than 5. Okay, so let me execute it. So this is printing the value of a and b is more than 5. Why so? Because I placed the or operator. So in case of a or operator, if any of the two condition, that is if a greater than 5 or b greater than 5, if any of these two is true, then it will go to the if clause. So over here, since b is greater than 5, since the value of b I have given is 6, so it becomes true, and that's why it's printing value of a and b is more than 5. But logically, I should put an AND operator because the thing that I'm printing is the value of A and B is more than 5, not or. So in case of AND, both has to be greater than 5. So in this case, it will check both the condition, and if it is greater than 5, then only it's going to print the first condition in if statement. Otherwise, it is going to go in the else clause, which is what's happening now, and it's printing value of A and B is less than 5. So I hope you got the concept of if and else. Now let me try to do an ladder if else clause, and let's see like how good you are with that. So it could be possible that I need to check if A is greater than 5 and B is greater than 5. But then there is a clause in which I'm going to check another condition, that is else if. That means if A is not greater than 5 and B is not greater than 5, then I might need to check individually if A is greater than 5 or B is greater than 5 or something like that. If that is so, then I do have another thing to print. So let me do that. After if statement, I'm going to write an else statement. In that, I'm going to check if A is greater than 5. So if A is greater than 5, then I'm going to print only A is greater than 5. Okay, and similarly I can write another case, another else if, where I'm checking if B is greater than 5. In that I'm going to write only B is greater than 5. So I hope this makes sense. Like in my first condition, I'm checking for both. If both are greater than 5, then I'm printing value of A and B is more than 5. Okay. If that is not so, then I am checking for else if. Else if, just check if A is greater than 5, then it will print this one. Else if, it will check if B is greater than 5, then it will print this one. So just check, in this case, the thing is like, okay. So what happened is, like if A is greater than 5 and B is not greater than 5 or vice versa. So this condition will become false as with this input since A is less than 5. Okay. It will check for this condition. It will check if A is greater than 5. Again, A is less than 5. So this condition will become false. So it will come to this else if to check if b is greater than 5, which is, that's why it's gonna print only b is greater than 5. So I hope it's clear. Just to confirm, we run this program, and yeah, it's printing only b is greater than 5. Okay. Now let's assume I have this input where a is 6 and b is 2. In this input also, the first condition will be false since my b is less than 5. Okay. Then it will check this condition. In this condition, A is greater than 5. Okay, so if A is greater than 5, it will print only A is greater than 5. Okay, and then it will come to this condition. So do you think it will come to this condition or it will just skip out? Well, let's see. It will just skip out. So, if one of the else if clauses, executed, then it is not like, compulsory, like anything below it will also get executed. So let me try this one. Okay. Over here, the condition I'm changing is if B is equal to true. So, as a result, this condition is true because B is equals to 2 and I am checking if B is equal to 2. And also this clause is also true where A is greater than 5 because A is equal to 6. So both these clauses are true. So let's see what will be the output in this case. So if I'm trying to run this, it is only printing only A is greater than 5. That's because if one of the else if clause is true, then all other else if clause below it won't be executed. So just make sure the order in which you are keeping your else if clause. Okay. And in case if you want, both these clauses to be executed, then instead of putting it in else if, just put it in like if. So you can also do that else, and then you can just do like you can create an like after that if block you can create a else block, and inside a else block you can then put a if block and another if block. So over here see I have placed a if block, then I have placed a else block. Inside this else block I am placing another if block, and I'm also placing another if block, and then I'm placing an else block. So yeah, I hope that's clear. So that is an example of nested else if. So in case of nested else if, you can place if inside another if or a if inside a else. So any nested conditions will give you an nested else if block. Now let me run this one. So in this case, it is giving only A is greater than 5 and only B is greater than 5. So you can see it's printing both of these statements. Although like the English meaning of this is different because I'm checking B equals to 2. So just to, clarify, I'm changing it to B is 2. I hope this won't create any confusion. And yeah, now it's printing only A is greater than 5 and B is 2. So both these conditions are true. So now both are getting printed because I haven't used else if, I'm using if block. So if you write an if block, number of multiple if block, then each of the condition in each and every if block will be checked. So this will check if A is greater than 5. If it is, then it will print this. Then it will also check for this because it is again if, it is not else if. So it will check for this. But in case if this is true, then the else clause will never be executed because this else is tied with this if. So just just to clarify that this is one if else block, this is another you can say if block, and this else block is only and only related to this if block. So even if like this condition is false, then also this else block will not be executed because this is only tied with this if. Okay, just to clarify that, let me, change the value of this to 10. And let's see the output. You can see I'm only getting B is 2 because over here I'm checking if A is greater than 10, which is not so since the value of A is 6. So that's why it's not printing nothing. And since this if is not having any attached else block, that's why nothing is happening. If I want to print something, then I have to attach a else block with this if also. So let me also try doing that. And over here I'm printing this is else block. for condition A is greater than 10. Okay, so you can see this is a if else, then there is another if else. So both of these two are unrelated to each other and both of them will get executed. So now this is going to the else block of this thing and this is going to the if block of this one. So I hope nested else if is also clear. So over here I have given an example of keeping my if blocks within an else block. You can also put this if block inside this if block, so you can, depending upon your business logic, you can write the combination of nested if according to you. So yeah, I think I'm good with that and I hope so it's also clear now. And yeah, we'll learn about the switch statement in the next video. So okay guys, thank you very much.